I am recording, so keep all your goofy comments to yourself today. I don't want to hear any of them. Did you guys struggle with any of these?
Second.
Yeah. Number two, that's a good one to struggle with. What was your issue with it? Couldn't figure it out. You couldn't find it. You should have been able to find it, but you couldn't figure it out because I think I forgot to finish the sentence. Yeah, so number two, non-foliated fine grained. Non-foliated, fine, could be fine, not fine. So as long as you put any of those, I'll accept it. I have a feeling I wanted to keep going and say that it was non-foliated, fine-grained, and contained quartz. I think is what I was going for, but I must have stopped typing in that box, unfortunately. So I'm sorry that number two gave you issues, but any of these four down here could have been good enough.
So what was it supposed to be?
Based on what was there, any of those four. So if I had kept writing a specific one, but I didn't. So I think I was probably going with like, there's more to say here. And I just didn't say it. So any of these four that are non-foliated and could be fine grained. But with the rest of them, the rest I know for sure we're fine. Did anybody have any issues? Nope. So everybody got all the right answers? Woo! Lily, what'd you get for A? Yeah. Friesland, what'd you get for C? Yeah, nice. Good enough. I know the pronunciation really throws a bunch of people off. Caden, what'd you get for D? Caden, you did too. That's the wrong page. 35. I already. Caden, page 35.
Katie didn't do it. What's she trying to say?
Oh, Caden, I accidentally marked it that you did.
See, maybe if you weren't too busy.
Caden, what's D? Caden, grab your reference table and figure out D. We got. No, well, we got non-foliated. Contains quartz. The quartz is not the answer. Look at your reference table. Look in the. It's not. It's the easiest one ever. So, better look at the metamorphic rock chart. It still are bottom of it. Non-foliated. Non-foliated. So you got these ones down here. Quartzite. Yes, non-foliated quartzite. Man, if only there was more time for work and less time for drama.
Ooh, tell
Not my drama.
E, what do you got, Trinity? Meta conglomerate.
Is it okay if we like abbreviate that?
Yes.
The meta?
Sure.
them.
We got, so Blakely, what do you got for F? Marble. Guys, you should all be quiet.
Oh, sorry, I forgot.
Ashton, what do you got for G? You got, yeah. Yeah, it's late. I actually did not, so I'm really glad I didn't, I guess. So contains only mica. So we might want to pay attention. Here is the composition right here. So the one that only has the mica bar is this one, which is slate. Nikolai, what do you got for H? Yeah. Ethan, what do you got for I? Nice. Elijah, what do you got for J? Hornbills. Fisher, what do you got for K? Okay, so read down the comment section, find which one's the metamorphism of sandstone. Yep. And John L. You sure?
Think so.
Yeah. Phyllite, does it say minerals are aligned and has visible platy mica crystals? Or is that the next one down? Did you just get hung up on the mica crystals part?
Yeah, I think I just got,
Yep. So platy mica crystals visible.
what's this?
It is my favorite piece of schist.
Since I got it wrong.
You did. Schist. I love it. All right. I cannot remember where this class left off because we got behind and did not do the notes that we're supposed to do on Friday. So did we do any here on page 33? We finished it? Okay, I must have really rushed you through then.
Yeah.
So just to be clear, so metamorphic rocks, they are rocks that are any existing rock. So I could take this piece of granite. I could take this piece of shale. I could take a piece of conglomerate. I could take a piece of limestone. Any of these rocks that I have laying around, what would I have to do to them to make them metamorphic? Say it.
Smush them?
Okay, what are the words on the reference table? Heat and pressure. I have to give them heat and pressure. So that's what a metamorphic rock is. That's this part up here. They're existing rocks that are changed by heat and pressure. So if you don't already have that at the top, so this is, did we get this or not? You're on the wrong page. That's why you're in. That's why it's blank. Okay. So we give any rock heat and pressure, it turns into a metamorphic rock. It doesn't matter what it started off as. This one's an igneous, this one's a sedimentary, another sedimentary. I could give this piece of slate, which is metamorphic. I could give a metamorphic rock heat and pressure, and it turns into a new metamorphic rock. So anything can be turned into a metamorphic rock. They do have a new appearance. So we talked about that yesterday, how this piece of granite with these big old crystals, as the heat and pressure gets put on them, those big, beautiful crystals, those crystals will smush and line up like that. So we'll get where we have the elongated crystals. So they will have a different appearance and they can have a different chemical composition. Parent rock is really important. Parent rock is the rock it used to be before heat and pressure. So granite is the parent of gneiss. And again, you can tell they're related, same colors, the crystals are similar, they just now have a new appearance. We have two types of metamorphism. One is regional, that happens during mountain building, and that's going to be a lot of heat and pressure to a large area. Whereas contact just happens when hot lava touches the rocks around it and changes the rock it's touching. And then we did talk about heat and pressure are the two agents that will change rocks. You can have heat and or pressure. You don't even need to have both. So if you did not get these notes, they are obviously available on this video here that I am recording. If you need to pause it, go ahead and pause it and get the notes that you need. Then I believe we did not do any of page 34, or did we do the questions on the bottom? Okay. So before we get started, let's talk then about the top at the top here. How are metamorphic rocks classified? So we have classified all the rocks we've done, all the minerals, all the rocks we've done this year. So if you, by the way, how are rocks in general classified? Like how are they put into groups? Nope, all the rocks.
Type of rock.
Type of rock.
Oh.
So we've got sedimentary, metamorphic, or igneous. By the way, what determines which one's which? How they're formed. So we say rocks are classified by how they're formed. Then we broke up each group. So we could look at the igneous, and this was a question on your igneous rock lab. How are igneous rocks classified? This is review, by the way, because we got a test on Monday. How are igneous rocks classified? Based on their... Okay, you could go about this two different ways. You could tell me they are classified by their texture, so glassy, fine, coarse, or very coarse. Or you could have told me they were first classified based on whether they were extrusive or intrusive. Either one of those works. How were sedimentary rocks classified? Texture again, whether they were clastic, crystalline, or bioclastic. But then you had to go to the clastic rocks. How were they classified? Grain size. Now let's look at metamorphic rocks. What are they classified by? Texture. You're sensing a theme here. So texture. What are our two choices for texture? Use your reference table. Foliated, two L's. Only one L. Foliated. And by the way, while we're here, foliated has a couple of choices. What are the two choices for foliated? Use your reference table. Banding and mineral alignment. We did learn the difference between banding. Banding is when the layers are different colors like this one. And then mineral alignment, and I don't think you guys can see this one. No, you definitely cannot see that on the screen. Maybe a little bit. This one has layers, but those layers are all the same color. Now, degree of metamorphism. I kind of talked about toast with you guys last week or yesterday, right? Or marshmallows. Toast in this class. We can have different degrees of toastedness, right? Like your toast can be all different kinds of toasted. If you only give it a little bit of heat, what's your toast look like? Cake can basically look the same, maybe a little crunchier. You give it a lot of heat, what's your toast going to look like? Blackened. The same is true with rocks. If you can give them a little bit of heat and pressure, then they don't change very much. If you give them a ton of heat and pressure, they're going to change a whole bunch. So I say for degree of metamorphism, they can be small or minor changes depending on the amount of heat and pressure. So again, right here can be small or major changes. So it can be small or major changes depending on the amount of heat and pressure. Now, again, we already did take notes on parent material. How can you quick review? What would you say parent material is? Yeah, that's the perfect what the rock used to be. And officially, what it turns into. So again, this is the parent, granite. It turns into gneiss. That's called the daughter material. I don't know why they got to pick daughter instead of son material. I'm not in charge. Please don't go after me about it. But it is the metamorphic rock after heat and pressure. And then there is one, this is the last thing for this chapter. So I do want to show you on the reference table that right here, it tells you this is regional, the type of metamorphism. So this is happening over a large region. And then if you notice in parentheses, it says heat and pressure increases. So slate has had a little bit of heat and pressure. Phyllite, a little bit more, and gneiss has had the most heat and pressure out of all of these foliated ones. So it just says the deeper underground, the more heat and pressure, and the greater the change. So shale, which is a sedimentary rock, only requires a little bit of heat and pressure to turn into the metamorphic rock slate. Now, these ones aren't exactly the same, but you can tell there's not a huge difference. Whereas granite requires a ton of heat and pressure to turn into gneiss because it is a higher grade metamorphism. You have officially learned all there is to know about rocks and minerals now. Like I said last week, we're going to have a test. We're having that test on Monday. It's the 18th. It'll be about 25-ish Regents questions. So maybe a little more, maybe a little less, but right around 25. Mixture of multiple choice and short answer like always, and to help you get ready, because I don't think we've done a lot of practice with these rocks. We're going to start by practicing sedimentary rocks. This is the one I wish I would have had you do over the long weekend, but I didn't. So we're doing pages 28 and 29. So you have 19 questions there on 28 and 29. These are the types of questions you can expect to see on the test on Monday about sedimentary rocks. And then you're continuing on to page 36, but I actually am going to let you skip question 1 because that has to do with the map symbols, and I told you to ignore those for now. So you're doing questions 2 through 16. Notice there's these down at the bottom. I'm not making you do those yet, for that matter. Any questions on what you're doing now? You're welcome to work together or alone, whatever floats your boat. This is due tomorrow, like any other homework assignment. Obviously, you have a good 15 minutes now to get started on it. If you're working together, make sure both people or all 3 people know what's going on because you're taking the test alone on Monday. Call me over if you need some help.